Hey everybody, welcome back here to A Place to Heal. I've been out and about all day, been going nuts. It's the end of the evening, trying to wind it down. And today I wanted to do a video with a very, very dear friend of mine. It's not going to be an interview. We haven't rehearsed it. She's very busy. I'm very busy. But we have a great connection and we're like sisters. And I've helped her through her trials and tribulations for the last few years, and she's been there to help me through my trials and tribulations in the last few years. So basically what I wanted to bring to you today is Linda, my friend, has hepatitis C, and she's been suffering it for a while. And she just did one of these new drug experiments. So I wanted to get her take on it and what she had to go through and everything else. So basically, I want to apologize for two things before we get started on this video. Number one, you're gonna hear me having problems with my lungs. I'm trying to take in air. I'm not on my A game today because I'm fasting, and I'm dry fasting actually, and I am like in full on detox mode. I mean, my meridians are on fire. I'm like in a lot of pain right now, so just bear with me, guys. And I don't think I am, but I feel like I'm going like minus 50 miles an hour. I feel like everything is happening in very slow motion. So bear with me on that. And number two, excuse me, number two is when me and Linda get talking, we kind of hit this bipolar thing. So, and since this hasn't been rehearsed, I'm not sure which direction this is going to take, because when we get talking, like I said, it becomes very bipolarish and we're like all over the place. All right, so without further ado, let me see if I can contact her. This is my new phone, so figure out how to do this. Okay, here we go. I think that's it.
Hello?
Hey, Linda.
Yes.
Hey, it's Marie.
Hi.
Hey, so I just want to let you know you're being recorded. You're on
Okay.
YouTube because I've been telling everybody that you just recently did one of these trials for the Hep C medications.
The latest one, yes.
The latest one. So I wanted to ask you a few questions
Okay.
so that we can let people know, how you felt about it,
Right, no problem.
since you've already done it.
Right, I'll answer to the best of my memory.
Okay, so the first thing that I was amazed with is I started doing some research and I found out that it cost about $95,000 to do a 12-week trial of this thing.
Correct.
That is crazy. So each pill
Yes,
is like
and
what?
a lot of insurances won't cover it without having to fight with them.
That's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how long have you had Hep C?
Oh gosh, well, okay, I'm 54 now, I believe, and I was 19, so that's a lot of years, whatever that is.
But now, the Hep C didn't actually bother you till recently. Is that why you started taking the pills?
The way it works is little by little, throughout the years, it will start attacking your body. Like through inflammation, your liver's the one that takes major damage from it. And it just, arthritis, anything that a person is normally susceptible to, they're going to be twice susceptible. So like, if I was predisposed to get diabetes,
right?
Okay, which I am, by the way, when you have Hep C, it makes you even more predisposed to that. So yes, it just tears your body down. It's the virus that has no job but to just constantly replicate and tear your body down. And it replicates and replicates and replicates. But it takes many years to finally do it. I'm at stage 4 cirrhosis now.
Right, but I think it's important to let people know, because everybody thinks it's a virus. They think of like the flu or something like that, and they don't realize that viruses are usually parasites.
Right.
So isn't this like a very minute parasite that's actually attacking the liver?
After all these years and everything that I've learned, I believe that and I just recently came to this conclusion, I believe that most diseases, viruses, bacteria, whether bacterial or a virus, I believe that they all come from parasites. And I think if a person could completely rid their body of parasites, I mean, there's always going to be parasites, but you got to work on them on a constant basis. And if they can empty their body of that, clean their body out, keep their colon really clean and virus and parasitic free,
right?
Then and change their dietary habits and other habits, I don't think that I don't think the virus could live. You know, had I known what I know now years ago, I believe I could have eradicated this on my own.
Yeah, because you're a pretty clean eater.
Now I am, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're vegan and you eat nothing but organic. I mean, so you're pretty strict on this, and still your numbers kept creeping up, even though you were eating healthy and doing what you were supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know how long I've had stage 4 cirrhosis, because I kind of avoided that. Just because I wanted to do like an ostrich with my head in the sand, you know. I really didn't want to know. Right. The treatments were so bad before that I thought, well, why get upset? I already know I have it. I know it destroys my liver. I just need to do the best I can, you know.
Right. Okay, so how do you catch it?
And well, you catch it. Basically, it has to come into contact with other blood that has the virus, the Hep C virus. So if you have shared needles, or like back in the 70s when it was real common to, a lot of the people would roll up dollar bills and stuff, and
right.
Yeah, and they would use that to do cocaine and all. While they're spreading it,
right.
they could be spreading that like wildfires, you know. Blood can be so minute that you don't even see it, but if it gets in somebody else's system, boom. So using somebody else's razor that has it, they say that you can't get it through sex. I don't know. I can't tell you if you could or you can't. I can tell you this: my sister, who just recently was diagnosed with it, has been with the same man for about close to 40 years.
Right.
Never, ever was with anybody before him or after him.
Right.
And she just recently found out that she contacted it through the blood bank when she had her twins. They gave her blood.
Yeah,
and they checked her
huge.
3 times.
That's huge, because back then they didn't used to check the blood.
Right, and that's one of the reasons why we have so many people that have Hep C and don't even know it.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing that a person looks like there's no sign that says, hey, they got Hep C, be careful.
Right, because a lot of people are under the impression that you start getting jaundice and you start getting yellowish. And
I never got yellow, and I have stage 4 cirrhosis.
Right. Yeah. So I think that goes for babies, but not too many adults get that. And sometimes a lot of people go with, the whites of their eyes start kind of turning yellow. But a lot of people don't get that either.
I'll tell you, one of the things that it does do that kind of can give you a sign is you'll start getting very, very tired.
Right.
It'll be really hard to do an 8-hour shift at work. It'll take everything you got just to take a shower, go to work, do your job, and come home. You're just exhausted.
Yeah, but I mean, kidneys could do that too.
Yeah, that's true.
Kidneys will shut down your body to do other stuff and make you so tired you can't even keep your eyes open. Because I used to.
Right. my advice to every human being is go, next time you go to the doctor, have them test you.
Yeah. And I know now, I just took my grandbabies to the doctor the other day, and they wanted to give them a Hep A and Hep B shots. And now they, say at 14, they want to give them the Hep C shot too.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I do know this. If you already have Hep C, and now the doctors won't tell you this, but it's the truth. If you already have Hep C, and the first thing they want to do is give you a vaccination for Hep B and some of the other hepatitis that have come out.
Right.
Because there's a lot more now than there ever was. And the minute you do that, if you already have this Hep C, your liver numbers go sky high.
Well, to me, that's like closing the barn door after all the horses get out.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that I heard you complain about through this whole thing was the water intake.
You're talking about once you begin the treatment?
Once the treatment that you were on. I can't remember what was the name of the treatment.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. Because boy, when I took that last pill, it was like good riddance.
I remember a lot of nights when you were just like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. That's it. I'm calling that damn doctor and I'm done. But we also, this wasn't taken lightly either. I mean, I remember you calling me and we discussed this for like weeks. You discussed it with your family. You discussed it with your doctor. You discussed it with me on whether you were even going to do it or not.
Right, because of everything that happened with the first treatment on people. See, if I would have taken that first treatment, what did it used to be?
Interferon?
Yes, interferon and riboflavin or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, if I would have taken that, I would not have been eligible for this program. The only reason I was is because I've never taken any of the programs. They say that if you've taken the last treatment, chances are this treatment won't work too good.
So what treatment did you start this time? What was the name of the treatment that you...
The only treatment I've taken is this last one, the pill that we're talking about. I just can't remember the name of it. But it's the very last one. And you take one pill once a day at the same time each day. And the hardest part of that, you have to be drinking water all day long. So you might as well plan on it and take off from work, because I'm talking they want you to drink 2 to 3 gallons of water a day, or that's what they told me.
Well, you were telling me there was some roofer that actually carried a cup with him because he had...
Yes, because he couldn't climb down off the roof every time he had to go to the restroom.
It's a heck of a lot of water, because you said, 3 gallons of water a day?
Right, and he finally just gave up on it while he was at work.
Yeah.
But then he started getting the headaches. If you don't drink the water, you get the headaches.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So then once the headaches start, you start drinking a bunch of water and it'll go away, but that headache can linger for 2 or 3 days.
Right. Yeah, those are nasty
headaches. And a lot of
headaches,
people,
too.
when they get a headache, once it starts, it goes into migraine.
Oh, yeah. Those are horrible headaches. And you can't do coffee enemas when you're taking that medication.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's another thing. They won't let all the things that I take to help my liver, like the
dandelion,
the milk thistle, the dandelion, all of this. They say, no, you can't take that in this program. I go, why? That's weird. That all the stuff that helps my liver, I couldn't take while I was doing the program. So they would only want me to take just basic things, your vitamin D and your B's and your C's.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. This medication strips you of your vitamin B's, especially vitamin B12. Nice. So if you do the program, and this is another thing they won't tell you, make sure you get plenty of vitamin B12.
But they say that there's no side effects.
They say that.
Are you buying that?
What?
I said, are you buying that?
You know what? Compared to the last program, there is none compared to that. That was horrible. That last one almost killed people. it made people very sick. There's a lot of people out there that went through that have terrible effects from it. But
they said there's no
if
side effects.
If it will kill this virus
It can kill you
completely and keep it away, and the liver numbers will stay good, then I'd say it's very much, and it doesn't hurt your heart or anything else, you know, and we won't be able to know that for at least 5 years, because it's only been out for 2 years.
Okay, and that was one of the things I was going to say, because they say that there's no side effects, but you said that not only you, but there's other people too that have had heart palpitations.
Yes, I have a friend that I talk to every so often, and he finished his treatment about 2 weeks before I did.
Mm-hmm.
And he never had heart palpitations before, and now he gets heart palpitations. And it's really, really bothering him. So he says, I can't tell you for sure that it's that, but it's just kind of ironic that I never got that until after I quit, after the medicine. I am starting to get a lot of more heart. I always got heart palpitations from time to time, but nothing like I do now. So I don't know if there's a correlation between that and the medications, but it sure does seem like there is. And, another thing is, it will mess with your skin. Like if you've never had psoriasis or what's that other one that's...
Cirrhosis.
Skin things.
Yeah,
psoriasis or eczema or
eczema. Yeah,
eczema. That's it. If you've never had that, you may get that with this treatment, because they tell you to make sure that when you take a shower or bath that you keep the water not too hot, just like you would a baby.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, for no side effects, you've already mentioned headaches and heart palpitations.
Oh, and it's hard to sleep sometimes.
It's hard to sleep. So there's actually a lot of things that are side effects to that, and emotional.
There is people on the internet that have taken this that claim they had no problems, no side effects, nothing.
How about the emotional aspects of it?
Okay, they did tell me that a lot of people get really emotional.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm pretty strong-minded, but as you know yourself, I got quite emotional.
Right.
Yeah, and then I did. I really was flipping out.
Yeah, I say that before every detox. I'm pretty strong-minded.
Yes, I think I called you crying one day.
I know. We usually end up in the floor of the bathroom in a fetal position.
And then it was like the next day I woke up and I go, oh, okay, I'm all right. I'm back to me again.
Yeah.
I guess, and I told my sister, I guess I'll finish it.
Yeah, I remember a few nights that you were just like, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was, man.
So.
I was angry.
One of the things is I'm seeing a lot of Hep C all of a sudden. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I kind of have this idea that there's a lot of false positives, because I think that we're damaging the liver so much with all these toxins and all these foods that have GMOs and everything else in them.
Right, pesticides.
That it's actually showing
colorings,
up.
Yeah.
I mean, fatty liver, cirrhosis.
Yes.
And you mentioned something yesterday that was really important, and you said that sugar reacts just like alcohol in the liver.
Yes.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Right. Sugar reacts on the liver in the same exact way that alcohol does.
Right. Yeah, so, your liver literally becomes a still.
So if your liver's compromised in any way, and even if it's not, it would help to eliminate all sugar.
Right.
And it's not just sugar, but sugar's a big one. It's like you mentioned, the pesticides, the food coloring. I believe all that stuff has an effect, but most people don't realize that when they think they're just eating an innocent piece of cheesecake or whatever. Well, if they have a compromised liver, I would highly suggest they don't do that, because It does. It reacts on the liver the exact same way alcohol does. And the first thing they tell you is don't be drinking if you have Hep C.
Right. So a lot of people get cirrhosis, and the first thing that the doctors will say is, have you had alcohol? How much alcohol do you drink? And a lot of people don't realize that you can get cirrhosis just from eating sugar.
Right.
If you eat, I had cirrhosis and I was never a drinker, but the problem was that I ate so much sugar that your liver literally starts using the sugar as a still, and it will actually turn it into alcohol. And the next thing you know, you end up with cirrhosis, and you're like, well, I've never drank, I'm not an alcoholic. How did this happen?
Right.
So that's one thing. One of the things that you and me have talked about is, does it really work, or is it just a false negative?
Right. That's I think a lot of people, I'm going to use my sister as an example. There's many times that they have tested her. Mm-hmm. She has diabetes, and she's been to the doctor for this and that. And they nothing showed. I have other friends. They tested them, and they said, no, you do not have Hep C. Mm-hmm. And then later on, another doctor they would go to would find it. Mm-hmm. And then they, like my sister, they tested her. She says, no, that can't be. How could I have Hep C? I've been with the same man all my life. I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs. Well, she had the blood given. So they tested her again and again, and 3 times, and they said that she does have it. Now, there's other people that said that they had just like a spontaneous healing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what to make of that either. I don't know anybody that...
Well, because I know that the same thing occurs with diabetes. I mean, people are under the impression that, I'm on metformin, my numbers are controlled. My numbers look good. Or I'm on insulin. Yeah, my numbers look good, but they just don't realize that underneath there, the disease is still progressing.
Right. See, and now I'm glad you said that, because I still have Hep C. Right. The only thing is, it's not replicating over and over. The monster is not continually growing. You see, he's locked up in a cage, like. Right. So I have to do what I have to do for my health to get, work on the fatty liver and getting clean and all of this to get my immune system super strong, because it's going to rely on my immune system to get the disease out of there, the virus out of there. So it doesn't stop. I mean, it doesn't take away the virus. It's not like, okay, that's it, that's the end of it. Right. But it stops it from replicating.
Right. The numbers look pretty.
Right.
It's like the diabetes.
And that's where I'm at. Is it just that the numbers look good, or what? This is why I was very hesitant on taking this, because it's only been out for 2 years, and I'm thinking, I don't want to put something in my body that I don't know anything about, that can cause me other health problems possibly, when it's only been out for 2 years. There's no evidence.
But you didn't have a choice. You were at that point where you did not have a choice. There's other people that do have a choice, and if you do have a choice, it's better to try to attack it naturally while you can, instead of, doing it with synthetic medications.
Right. That have never. Right now, even I did that. I'm standing at the edge of the cliff with the cirrhosis 4.
Right.
So.
One of the things that you said to me, you said that, hepatitis C, the doctors keep saying, well, hepatitis C damages the liver. And you brought something up that was really interesting. You said, well, so does drinking, and so does eating sugar, and so does eating chemical. Everything pretty much damages the liver.
Right.
Everybody wants to sit there and not even acknowledge the liver, but they don't understand that the liver is just such an important organ.
Right.
And you have to keep it clean, and you have to take care of it.
Yes, exactly.
As a matter of fact, I think Andreas Moritz, I read somewhere that he said that you should be doing liver flushes from the time you're 14. You should be cleaning out your liver.
Right. I wish somebody so bad.
I know.
I know. That somebody would have taught me this stuff when I was younger.
Yep. But, one thing that I do want to touch with you is, I find it funny that doctors don't give a hoot about a disease. Because how long have you been dealing with this and the doctors haven't cared? They just put you on the back burner.
Right, since I was 19 years old.
But then all of a sudden, as soon as a disease starts making them money,
then they start,
man, it's like, oh, here we go. Now all of a sudden they've got a cure for it and they got a pill for it, and they're, you know, forking out money. I mean, $1,000 a pill, that's insane.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, the same thing, it happened with chemo. When cancer started becoming a huge disease, a huge money-making disease, all of a sudden everybody got chemo. And, you know, then it was dialysis. You know, all of a sudden there's dialysis, you know, places all over the planet, you know, and everything else. And diabetes. Diabetes now is a multi-million-dollar business. That metformin.
Right, it is.
You know,
yes.
Because people aren't getting the message that it's more important to eat clean, and all these things are damaging us, and take care of it that way, and they just wait. And now all of a sudden Hep C is getting huge, so it's like, hey, here's our moneymaker, let's go. You know, I think that's a crock of BS, if you ask me, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, my doctor, I even went to him and said, because I wouldn't answer them right away. I wouldn't give them an immediate yes that I'll do the program. I said, I'm going to think about it. So when I went back, I said, well, I gave it some thought, and I'm not so sure that's the road I want to take.
Well, because you knew better.
Well, yeah, I was very worried about it, and so
you were educated.
I said, I believe that I can do this without taking a pill that's only been out for 2 years that I know nothing about. And I said, furthermore, the last one you guys said, and he was getting mad at me too.
Yeah.
And I said, you guys told me the last time I was told that I must take the interferon, and look what happened with that. Look at all the damage that caused people. He said, yeah, that's all that we had at the time to use, to work with. So why would you give that to people if you knew that this was happening?
Well, you know, I mean, when I first was diagnosed with diabetes, they put me on Avandia. And it was the only thing that they had at the moment, blah, blah, blah. And it had only been out for, I don't know, maybe a year. And the next thing I know, it's like there's all these people dying and having heart attacks and strokes. And now, you know, there's lawsuits against Avandia. And it's like, if I would have taken that, you know, luckily I said, no, I'm not going to take any of this. You know, I'm not going to be a guinea pig, because they don't know. And I think that doctors are very persuaded by the reps. You know what I'm saying? God, I hate to say this, but it's like the reps go in there and it's like, hey, you know, this is like the newest thing. You know, like when Viagra came out, right? When Viagra came out, it was like, this is going to be the pill that's going to change the industry. And all of a sudden, all these people, you know, went to the stock market and started investing in the company that bought out Viagra. You know, it's a huge, people just don't realize, I don't want to really get into it, but man, it's a huge market.
Right, it is. It
you know?
Very much is. And there's a lot of wealthy people, like in Hollywood and all that are all of a sudden dying from the damages from Hep C. You know, so once it starts hitting the rich people, it makes a difference too.
Now, you said you can also catch Hep, like if you go to a restaurant and...
Oh, yes. There's and not just Hep C. There's all different kinds of Heps that you can catch in a restaurant. I don't even want... it's just gross to even talk about it and think about it, but just believe me, think about... It's too, you know...
Well, you constantly see the signs at the restaurant, you know, wash your hands.
Right.
Wash your hands, because there's so many diseases that these...
Right, but the people that are preparing the food...
Yeah.
Like, for example, you know, there's a lot of mice in the back of a lot of those places, especially fast food.
Yeah.
But restaurants, too. I mean, you know, family-owned restaurants.
Yeah.
And they take these lemons and... they store them right there on the ground.
Yeah.
And so
then they cut them.
And then they cut them.
And put them in the dish.
And they leave the pill on it. And they don't wipe them down. And they put them in your iced tea.
I know. And you know what? That's funny that you should say that, because I worked, I'm not going to say where because I don't want them to know, but I worked next to a very, very, very expensive, popular French restaurant. I mean, it was like 5-star, blah, blah, blah. So one day I had to go over there because she had just gotten some new wines in, and she wanted to show me these wines that came from France and everything. So I go in there, and I kid you not, the minute I walk into that freezer, there's like roaches running around, and there was rats running around, and she's got all her lemons on the floor.
Yep, exactly.
And I'm thinking, they're not going to wash those lemons, and they're just going to cut them, and they're going to put them in the teas, and you guys are going to put them in your cups, and there you go.
Right. And then what about the people that don't wash their hands or wear gloves? And you can imagine.
Yeah, all the stuff that you can catch. So I guess one of the questions I want to ask you, I haven't asked you yet, is, so are they going to perform like kidney tests on you now that you're done with all this?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's the one thing he got upset with me about too, the doctor.
Yeah.
It's because I said, this would be a fine thing. Here, I take this medicine, I stop it from replicating, and then it destroys my kidneys.
Right.
They said, oh no, we haven't had any, what was that? We haven't had any complaints about that. I don't know.
People don't even know. How do they know?
I'm like, well, how would you know? Because it could take 4, 5, 6 years to show up. And then, even then, maybe a person has no idea that it's their kidneys. They might just think that it's their sciatic or something.
Right.
Like I did for years,
Yeah, because I have a lot of people, it's like, I'm peeing, foamy urine all over the place, and my lower back is killing me. I'm like, it's your kidneys. No, my doctor says that my kidneys are great.
Right.
Well, yeah, because...
And then they take them in for a back operation.
Right, but kidneys don't start showing problems until they're like, I think it's like 82% gone, and then you start noticing. So, I mean, I don't know. This is like, so overall.
And you don't know what's in I don't know what's in that pill. I just,
yeah, exactly. You don't know what's in the pill. You know it's synthetic.
Right. By the way, that's the biggest horse pill I ever seen.
So overall, are you glad you did it?
Well, that's a loaded question. Currently at this time, yes.
Okay. Do you feel better?
That's for now. I don't. Do I feel better? No, I don't feel any different.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Now, my friend I was telling you about, he says some days he feels it's really easy for him to determine because he has to work every day, and when you're out there working hard, when you're not feeling right.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a roofer, so he says that
the roofer with the cup.
At first, when he was doing the program, he felt great.
Right.
All kinds of energy, like when he was younger and everything. Then after he got off the program, he still felt good for a while. But then there would be days like he still felt like he still had it, and it was causing problems still, and he didn't have any energy. And then a couple days would go by like that, and then he'd have a good day and a bad day. So, and I haven't even taken my last test yet. I have one last test to take to see if it worked completely without rearing back up. And I'm going to demand that they test me, my blood, several times for the next 5 or 6 years.
Right.
So ask me, let's see, would I do it again? If I was in the same situation, yes.
Yeah.
If I was healthier and they asked me, no, I wouldn't do it, but not because it was all that painful or uncomfortable, because the side effects were very little.
Right.
But just because I think if you got the time and you're young, there's a better way to go about it. And also, this is a really important point, they are rapidly coming up with better and better ways to get rid of this now.
Now, one thing that I do want to say while you're still on the phone is that this is our opinions.
Correct.
We're just sharing this information, what you went through, you taking it and everything else. Because I don't want to get the backslash of all these people going,
Right.
Well, I took it and I don't want to hear it. It's just
Right. Everybody's going to have a different reaction because everybody's life is different. Everybody's health is different.
Exactly.
Everybody feels things differently. Like me, I am very, it just takes me, some people could take 3 or 4, let's say, Advils. That knocked me out completely.
Yeah. I'm very sensitive. I mean, there's been times I've been talking to you on the phone and I'm like, here, my sinuses, they're all clogged up. Whatever I ate, I wasn't supposed to be eating. Because something was in there that I don't care how healthy they said it was, that was not something I should have eaten. My body is that sensitive to food. Some people, like you said, may have kidney damage and might be laying on their back. They don't even know. So it depends on what part of your journey you're on, what you believe in. And I mean, there's so many things that revolve around that.
I think they need to do better at educating the public. Okay, they have commercials out.
Yeah.
I'll try and be quick here. They have commercials all the time trying to preach at people to come in for the treatment.
Right.
Well, of course, because they want the money and stuff.
Right.
But I think it would be nice to educate the public in other ways too. I mean, let's put a commercial on there to educate people.
But that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what YouTube is for.
Sick. Yeah.
You're supposed to get on YouTube and then there's all these educators on there that are educating on how to take care of yourself.
Right.
And how to avoid having to deal with that, I mean, that's the best way.
Oh, and keep, one of the things I'm doing now is since I'm not taking that, that medicine, it works with acid in your body. So we go along trying to stay as neutral as we can, alkalize as we can.
Yeah.
And they're telling us, no, we need you to get acidic. Okay. I very rarely have gas come out in any direction on my body.
Right.
But when I was taking that pill, because I had to eat very acidic foods and stuff,
right.
the pill needs acid to work.
Wow.
I was having gas issues I usually don't have. So to eliminate all that, and my urine was very strong smelling, really, and it usually doesn't smell like pneumonia. So I've been alkalizing my body with different stuff and working on getting that acid out of my body.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on here and
thank you,
giving your opinion and letting my viewers know what you thought of it and what you went through. So if they're considering doing the program, they'll kind of know what to look forward to, I guess.
Right.
I mean, everybody's
and they can
different.
go on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other people that did it that are given, I think there's like 6 or 7 videos out there of people that have done this recent one.
Yeah. Yeah, because I like to research everything before I do it.
Right.
I mean, everything. And I like to try everything because I don't want to tell somebody to do something if I haven't done it. Or if somebody I know hasn't done it. I don't like, if somebody asks me something, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've never done that. I've heard stuff, but So.
I realize it's scary. I was scared to death. To me, what's scary is listening to a doctor without doing your own research and believing what they tell you. To me, that's the scariest thing.
Yes.
He doesn't care if you... I'm never better not say that.
Yeah, you can say that on my channel.
You know what I was going to say.
Yeah. Doctors don't give a flying hoot.
Right.
As long as they're, they got money in their pocket. Very few doctors. There's some out there that are still pretty legit. But very few and far between.
Yeah.
The white coats anyway. The pure white coats, I should say.
Yes.
All
Exactly.
right, Linda. Well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too.
And
Give me a call back if you want later on.
I will.
All right.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, so there you have it. I know I kind of ran a little bit later than I usually like on my videos, but I feel that that information, especially with the amount of Hep C that is on the rampage today, is very important. So I will try to keep coming at you here as often as I can. Like I said, I'm doing some serious crazy detox right now. I'm working with a bodybuilder in Texas right now that is over the top. I mean, over the top. So, you know, I'm going to be bringing that to you, what I'm doing with him. And, you know, I'm also working with somebody that does dry fasting, and I'm doing that, which is insane. And I don't advocate it. It's very serious stuff. You know, I'm just that crazy. But I will be bringing my results of that to you too. And I think I've also got a parasite smoothie in the works for a future video. All right, so till next time, stay happy, stay healthy. I love you guys. I love the mail, the letters, everything. And I miss you guys when I'm not here. So till next time, bye-bye.